Wednesday at 12 noon for an in-depth look of education, politics, economics, and entertainment from Republican and conservative views. The first of its kind on the Millennium News 24 and the Millennium TV 24 network. We will conceptualize and debate the rights and wrongs of the society, and together we will build the new American perspective and share it with the rest of the world. You can tune in on all iOS and Android platforms, branded smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. If you're around the world, Horizon Satellite. If you're in Europe or Australia, the Sky Network. Tune in to MillenniumNews24.com or MillenniumTV24.com. All social media, Millennium News 24. We're live and have the podcast at the same time. I am a citizen, and this is our perspective. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is great to see everyone today. Here we are with your new American perspective. I'm Jania Butler. That's my co-host, A.B. Butler, in the house with the G-Check this week. How's everybody doing?
How y'all doing out there? We back. I know y'all miss us, so we just need y'all to hit the station and tell them y'all need more of us.
Yeah.
Jania Butler and A.B. Butler.
Yes, the Butler gang. So listen, let's just jump right into it. We have a full week of everything that's going on. America, this is the new American perspective, and we are the new Americans here on Millennium News 24. And we have so much to talk to you about. So let's just jump right in and let's talk about the Texas flood. So we saw a tragic situation happen out in Texas. There was a huge flood, huge rains out in Texas, and over 100 people have been pronounced dead. 160 people still, they are looking for still 160 people. 21 campers out in Camp Mystic in Texas were lost. They got swept away as they were young kids at camp. They're finding some of the bodies of the young people out there, and it's just a tragic event, a natural disaster. And this is what we have to, plan for sometimes in our lives, that these natural disasters, that the world and Mother Nature is definitely bigger and greater than us. So rest in peace to all those, and praying for the families to find people still alive. There was a couple kids in the tree that they actually found a few days afterwards. So let's not lose hope, and let's pray that the victims and the families are brought back together. So again, shout out to those in Texas who are going through, because I'm sure if there was such a landslide of water and rain and mud, that a lot of people lost their houses as well. But President Trump, he was right on it. He was right on top of it, putting out aid. And that's what we want to see. We don't want to see, people be, left.
Suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Suffering.
Yeah, at all, and left out there without a way to help. I was actually in the flood in Queens, New York in 2021. I forget her name. It was one of those hurricanes. I forget her name, but I was in the flood, so I definitely understand. And it was so crazy because the water had came all the way up to the sofa where I had nowhere else to go. So, I cried and I prayed, that dark night. So I pray for all those people. I'm having, post-traumatic stress just thinking about it, thinking about, rain and water coming in your house and ruining all your stuff. I've been there, people. So, definitely you have our love here on the New American Perspective and the G check. The big, beautiful bill, right? Did you hear about that? The big, beautiful bill, cousin?
What's so big about it? What's so beautiful? And what about a bill? Everybody hate getting bills in the mail, so it sound incredible, but people hate getting
Well,
bill. Yeah.
that's the interesting part, right? So some people are calling it the big ugly bill, right? And some
Hmm.
people are calling it the big beautiful bill. It's a Republican Democrat thing, as always in the United States. Is what are we talking about here, right? So President Trump, he forced everybody to have a July 4th deadline, which was last Friday, of getting the big beautiful bill passed. Remember, we were talking about the House and the Senate and
Hmm.
everybody in it. And so the bill, this is not necessarily a bill. Well, what they're saying that it is going to be a bill, but this is not necessarily a bill that will that we have to pay for, or do we want. This bill is $3.3 trillion. That's the G check in this. This
Mm.
bill says that we are going to be in debt $3.3 trillion in the next 10 years or so down the line. But remember, Trump talked about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. He talked about Social Security. So what's happening is the country is going through a reverb, and what we saw is Hakeem Jeffries, who's a congressman out of Brooklyn. He stood on the House floor. Get this, cousin, for 9 hours
G checking it.
G checking the whole bill and telling us why the bill was wrong. So he held up the bill for 9 hours. He went straight for the ultimate G check. It was the longest in the history that what they call a Congress filibuster. They got this 1 minute that they, a long minute that they have in Congress where people can voice the leader of the House, who is Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats, who he can voice his opinion for as long as he wants.
Mm.
So what he did was to hold up the bill is he went for 9 hours.
Mm. He did a big G check,
He
you
did
know.
a huge G check. But see now, okay, so now this is where I want you to think about. So he did this, right?
Hmm.
Now the midterm elections, right, which are coming up fast. We're almost a year in with Trump now, right?
Happy New Year's, people.
Right. So the midterm elections, what happens every 2 years into a new presidential term, right?
Hmm.
The midterms in the middle of the 4 years of the president's um,
Seat in
term,
the
right?
house.
Yep. And the 2 years in the middle is a chance for the Democrats to get seats back. Okay. So right now, the Democrats can't do anything in the House or the Senate because the Republicans control it all. So basically, the Republicans are saying, this is what we want. This is what we're going to put in place. Democrats, you can't do nothing about it because you don't have the seats. So in the midterm election, the Democrats try to reclaim seats, right? So it's just a back and forth, right? So they just try to reclaim seats back and forth so they can have power in the House. And they can say, because there's no Democrats that can step up and say, no, this bill doesn't need to go
So they
through because they
playing
have
musical
the
chairs.
number.
They playing musical chairs.
100%. They don't have the numbers, right? So Hakeem, his 9 hours was basically setting up everything for the midterm elections for them to try to get more seats in the House for midterm elections. So it wasn't so much about them stopping the bill because they couldn't stop the bill, right? What they were trying to do is say, well, all these people are going to lose Medicaid. All these people are going to lose their health insurance, and people are going to be kicked off of food stamps, and so they're always pandering to us. Now my question to you, cousin, is why do we always have to be the bottom of the barrel?
This is a G check because They look at us, that's the way we act. So they gonna always put us in they bill and saying, poor people, if you don't get at that poll and vote, they take it all that away. But you gotta remember this. Always remember this. Food stamps, it's a lot of other people on food stamps. So don't think it's always the black is getting all the credit on the food stamps, the welfare. You got a lot of Jews in Brooklyn is on welfare, so they got a lot of power in that. So we've been struggling our whole life. So if you take food stamps or whatever, guess what? Trump, the big beautiful bill, we're gonna find a way because that's what we do. You
And
know
you
what I mean?
and I know I didn't really want to sidebar into this, but because you said that, I want to talk about the resiliency in Philadelphia. So we know in Philadelphia that they just had a big trash strike. DC 33 out of Philadelphia has strike 9,000 workers, okay, went on
Mm.
strike for at least 7 days, the last 7 days. And these were sanitation, 911 workers. And so the sanitation department said, we're not picking up no trash. You don't give us a raise, we not picking up no trash. We going on strike July 1st, straight like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the mayor, first black woman mayor, Sherelle Parker, she said she called they bluff. She said, this is G-check. Y'all not about to do nothing. Y'all not about to burn our silly down. And guess what the people did? They went ahead and went on strike.
They
They
went. They went and showed her. This is what you call a G check.
a real G check. So now we see Philadelphia has trash all down these streets. So now the people who usually go to their curb and put their trash at the curb and the trash people come and pick it up, that wasn't happening in Philadelphia. So the reason why I said this right now is because the resiliency of the people is our people went out there, got U-Hauls, our people went out there, got trucks, and started their own independent garbage pickup in people's areas. They was charging $25 for 10 pounds of trash. They was charging $35 for anything over 50 pounds. It was amazing. And so
It
when you
was,
talk about the resiliency of the people that we've been in this country and what we've accomplished in this country, a high five, that's a G check because
but
we will adapt.
let me say this right. We show the world over and over again. It don't matter who's in power, no matter what people say. When you stick together and stand up, when hear me out, stand up, see how it works. You see how it works. Because at the end of the day, the same people in the Congress, in the White House, and the senators, they not doing the dirty work. They just sitting there with their suit, they tie, just writing something. But at the end of the day, the people's out there that they making bills, taking, they doing all the work. So people, if you hear this G check loud and clear, the new G check loud and clear, we got to stick together to change everything back in order for us. That's a G
And
check.
that's a G check. And that is official because that's what we've been doing without doing it. But then we always, break it down. But yes, we got to get out and vote. So what the big beautiful bill is telling us is that we've got to get out and vote. We've got to pay attention. The Democrats have their little game that they're playing. Oh, there's, Medicaid and everything. And really, they're trying to get immigrants off of Medicaid. So let me ask our viewership around the country, should around the
Around
world,
the world.
should immigrants that come into this country, should they be able to receive Medicaid?
If you
And
say something,
you
just
could
put under
answer,
there yes or no in the comments where we can read
yeah,
that.
and you can answer. How do you feel about that, cousin?
Well, listen, I'm gonna say this: we all human. It's no way around anything no more. We all human. We all the same. It don't matter. You come from Mexico, Hawaii, wherever. You're human. So, like in Canada, it
Should we
don't.
be paying
No, we
for,
shouldn't. No, 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 no. We shouldn't be paying for nothing.
you
Nothing.
talking about human and you trying to feel
Yeah,
some type of
but
way?
no, but I'm saying I am talking about you. But I'm just saying we pay for everything. Let me say this: when you talking about paying, we could fix a lot of things, people, by closing some of these prisons and giving other opportunities.
Okay, let's take a break real quick and we're going to come back and talk about that since you want to get a little deeper and you didn't answer the question, should we be paying for it? We will be right back here on the New American Perspective in your
And a
G Check
G check.
on Millennium News 24
That's a
with
G
our
check.
battle right here with the Butler Gang. We'll be right back on Millennium News 24.
Right.
And we are back with the New American Perspective here with your host, Jania Butler, and your co host, AB Butler, with the G Check. And we G checking the situations right now. We G checking the scenery. So the question is, and the question that we're posing to the world right now, should immigrants, people who have come into the country illegally, be able to get on our healthcare system and utilize it?
Well, the G check is I don't think we should pay. We pay enough. We pay enough. They drain us. So I don't know how to put in any other way, any other word, any other direction. We pay enough. That's a G check.
Okay, that's a G check. So you're saying no, in other words. Okay. He can't say it, people. I don't know why he can't say it. Like he can't say it. He's too scared to say it. But what I'm saying is yes, we do pay enough. We do when we look at our checks and we see that 30%, 40% is going out. All of that is going to road improvements, healthcare, Medicaid, people who need our assistance. And in the big, beautiful bill, what the Democrats are arguing about is that Trump has given billionaires a huge tax break. Okay, they have given them a huge tax break and they made it permanent. In 2017, Trump put up a huge tax bill that helped them, and now they're making it permanent. But he said that he's doing that because he wants these billionaires to create more jobs for the smaller man in the country and be able to spend more money and stop paying it on taxes and stop paying it to people who they deemed, people that don't want to work, the people who deemed, trying to abuse our system. Instead of doing that, what they want to do is they want the tax increase, and it's passed, so it's done. They want the tax increase. They want immigration. They want some more money to hire some more ICE folks and all of this other stuff. They want things to do what they want. And see, that's why we have to vote, because if you don't want this, this is what happens. Now, I believe in a balance of power because I think power absolute is corrupted, right? So I believe in the balance of power. But not sure how this is going to work out if the Democrats don't get a couple more seats to help them lobby. Because if they just sit back and let the Republicans do their thing, I don't know where we're going to be, cousin, because we haven't been in the conversation lately, President Trump. And this is a G check, and I'm going to need you to tap into that. Okay, President Trump, because I'm not sure what's happening. I haven't heard what we're doing for the Black community, and we need to do that. That is a G check. Um, Do you have anything to say about the big beautiful bill? Again, no tax on overtime, no tax on tips. I wish, when I was working a regular job, that I didn't have any tax on my overtime and everything like that. And then just to say that Trump is using these tax tariffs from the other countries. He's like, let the other countries pay for the taxes that our community, our people are paying for. Let the countries out there, instead of us paying taxes, let them pay the taxes to come into America, and then free our people up. Car loans, they got the new tax on they're trying not to tax car loans. It's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of good stuff. But if you let the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats tell it, it's a horrible bill. A lot of people going to re-railroad it. And what I don't like is they didn't say which people. They just said 11 million
Mm.
people are going to lose their Medicaid. Who?
That's the quiet G check. That's what you do. You throw that under the rug and see how far the dirt keep going.
Yeah, no, it's a game. It is
Yeah, that's all
absolutely.
it is.
So, big beautiful bill, it is passed. Now, let me tell you what else Trump just did last week. Birthright citizenship. Okay, you and I, cousin, are foundational Black Americans, meaning that we were born in this country. Our ancestors have been here for a few generations, and we were part of the slave trade at some point, right?
Yes.
So now, what Trump just did, the 14th Amendment of the Constitution gave us the right to vote, a whole bunch of stuff. It also had written in it birthright citizenship, right? So, birthright citizenship said that the descendants of the slaves, right, us, that we automatically become citizens of the United States because we were born on American soil, right? Now, think about this, cousin, because this is, you got to come with a hard G check on this. So now, Trump has reversed this to mean only just for slaves. So the people that are coming in, so the Mexicans, the anybody else that's coming in at this point right now can't come in here, have a baby on American soil and say, you can't kick me out because my baby was born here. Now my baby is American. And that's what's making the immigration so tough, because they're coming with the idea that let's just go have children. Let's just go have babies there in America and they won't be able to kick us out. So he reversed that. So now that's like for like 5 million people. So the DACA recipients, 5 million of them are now out. They can't claim this birthright citizenship. So you didn't have 5 kids, you didn't have 2 kids, you didn't have 1 kid to get here. Now that law's not in existence. How you feel about that? What is the G check there?
Ooh, the G check there. Trump is not playing. I mean, Trump basically trying to clean up America, make it America great again. So basically, that's what he's really doing. And then on top of that, we really need to know what's else in that beautiful bill. You know what I'm saying? We just talking little light things, but the bill is beautiful. So that means that bill is like this. So we need to know what else they creep up in there. It's gonna, put us 30 years back.
It's 1,000 pages.
Yeah, but listen, that's one thing in Congress where in the senators, they so slick, they make bills and just slide things in there and we get caught up. You know what I mean? We as the people, it don't matter what bills you make, the people should be able to understand what you put in that beautiful bill and have a say so of yes or no. You know what I
Well,
mean? The Democrat, no, it shouldn't be the Democrats or the Republicans. It should be the people on the House side should have the say so of that beautiful bill.
you're
That's a G check.
100% right. That is a G check. But see, that's why we have to vote. Because when you put a certain person in office, Hakeem Jeffries represents downtown Brooklyn, where I went to school at, Long
Hmm.
Island University. He
Shout
represents
out.
downtown Brooklyn. Shout out to them. Shout out to Charles Jones, by the way, LIU
Shout
grad,
out.
play for um Clippers, the Bulls, everything. So anyway, so Hakeem Jeffries represents that area, right?
Mhm.
So that area of people have elected him to go to Congress to represent them when we can't hear everybody's voices at the same time, right?
You
So if we
100%.
don't vote, so if we don't vote in the people that are going to work for us and play games, and I'm not saying Hakeem, I think Hakeem is definitely for the community, but he got some game with him. You know what I'm
All
saying?
of them got
All got
game.
some game. Yeah, they all got some game with them. You know, and but as long as we act as if we're not paying attention, they will try to pull these big wolves over our eyes every time. So that's why this is so important for us to get involved and to stay involved. Look at all the stuff that we've been talking about. Look at all the stuff we've been able to regurgitate and teach to the community that the community might not know. You know what I'm saying? Look at the stuff we've been G checking and talking about. This is important stuff for us to know. And I'm glad that the Butler gang is on this and we are going to stay on this. And we need your help and your support. So tap in, comment, let us know how you feel about the big, beautiful bill. Is it the big, beautiful bill or is it the big, ugly bill? Let's do a poll,
How
cousin,
about
next
how
week.
about how about the big, beautiful, bad bill?
The big, beautiful, bad bill. Okay, so you meaning that there's some beautiful stuff in it and may be some bad stuff in there. I mean, you got to
Exactly.
give or take, but at the end of the day, those people are deciding what to do with our money, how much money that they're taking from us. We have to get involved. So if you're not registered to vote, you need to jump in and register immediately because we all need to be accounted for. There's another big race coming up. Jack Citarelli in New Jersey going for governor against Mikey Sherrill, Democrat out of, they say she's out of Virginia, but they're both going for governor of New Jersey. So New Jersey is going to get a new governor. We talked about
Mhm.
how Mayor Raz Baraka jumped in with hip hop too late to try to get the vote going because he was going for governor. But I think that we can see that in the future at some point if we get our act together. But it's too hard to try to convince people that we need you out. We need you voting and we need listen. Reverend Jesse Jackson started that back in 1980 or whatever. He ran for president in 1984 and we're still talking about registering to vote and being a part of the process when these people are costing us so much money and changing our lifestyles every day without our consent, cousin. That's a G check.
That's the biggest G check you just said. But we forgot one thing about Philly, right? Shout out to LL Cool J for not doing that show. He stands up. You know, he's not a sellout artist. He's a stand-up guy. And he said to the people of Philadelphia, I'm not coming to Philly because I hung out in Philly. I got love for Philly. I'm not going to cross that line till they get this situation taken care of. I'm not going to let them pay me to perform, and you got all this trash and a bunch of rats running around. So shout out to LL. That's a G
Shout
check.
out. That's a super G check. Shout out to LL Cool J and the whole Rock the Bells franchise. I think, cousin, we have to get on the Rock the Bells cruise this year and ride out with him because that was a stand up thing, showed that he was a completely stand up guy. He told everybody, listen, I'm not going to be taking no money. And,
From the
people
people.
that get money, I'm not doing it. Sorry.
He's a stand-up guy, you know what I mean? And that come from being down in the 80s. Respect. That's a respect. That's a G check, you know.
the
Respect.
ultimate G check. Shout out to LL Cool J. He had the Rock the Bells Festival a few weeks ago. It was amazing. Hip hop is alive and well. We talked about that um last year. And shout out to Philadelphia, because while we're talking about Philadelphia, they actually came to an agreement. They ended the strike today, but
Mm,
Philadelphia's got 7 days worth of trash
mm,
to get off of their streets. They had these remote sites that you go throw the trash at and everything like that. And then so now they have to figure out a plan. They came to an agreement, and now they have to figure out a plan on how to get that up. So let's take a break real quick. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk more New American Perspective, more G checking the scenery here with Jania Butler, AB Butler, on Millennium News 24. Talk to you in a minute.
in a minute. Back.
And we are back with your New American Perspective. I'm your host, Jania Butler, and that's my co host, AB Butler, over there with the G Check, Dr. Butler over there, G checking the scenery. And so before we leave off of Philly, and let's just go to every urban hood around the country, we've seen the resiliency of Philly, and we've seen them get up, and the people didn't have sanitation services, and the people tried to figure it out for themselves, and they deserve the ultimate G check of loving their community. So don't ever say that Black people don't love their community or not going to take care of the community, because they were not going to have themselves overrun by rats and rodents and things of that nature. They were going to handle their business. Now, let's clean up the rest of the urban territories around America, around the world. Let's clean it up. Let's not throw trash on the street. Let's not throw trash in the ocean. Let's find a receptacle and throw the trash in the trash can, because other people don't live like this, right? Other people don't throw trash out because they know that they have to live there and they have to clean it up themselves. So let's use this as a catapult to our next level, because I think that they completely stepped up. Let me see what else is there. We talked about the Texas floods, but you were telling me that there was some blue
Blue rain. Blue rain. It's the
rain. What's
blue.
that about?
Yeah. Listen, it's a G check. It's blue water coming out the sky. Is that the UFOs crying? Uh,
UFOs crying.
there's something going on because blue water. Some,
Yes, so it was
some,
like aqua blue water
yeah.
in the ground, all kinds of craziness happening. And people were wondering, were there chemicals in the air? What was going on? And then they are scared, because now, even though they know that they can't drink it, they're saying there might be iodine
Mhm.
and stuff in the air that's making it that color. I mean, I've never seen it. I took a look at it today and it looked a little weird. Looked like that aqua blue water we like to see in the Caribbean, but this wasn't it. And that's falling out of the sky. And so they're saying that it probably had chemicals and things of it. But the people of Texas are nervous, because what if this got in their plants and their plant supply, hitting the water, hitting the ground, and the things that they're eating? What is this? What is happening, America? And they're saying that, us controlling what's going on across the board, us controlling what's going on across the board with the weather, because people are controlling the weather at this point, and they're saying that Mother Nature don't like that, cousin.
Mhm. She don't. This is a G check. I wonder was this blue water in the beautiful big bill?
You what that there is no more? What would be in the big beautiful bill with the water?
Listen, the G check is you never know what the government do. That's a
Yes.
G check.
That's a pure G check. I always refer back to the Tuskegee experiments. We just had the COVID, people still dying at rapid rates, having congestive heart failure, and all of these things going wrong, and people, I also want to talk about, really go get your health checked out. If you took a few of those vaccines, go get your health checked out because people are having sudden deaths, they're dying in their sleep. There's a lot of effects of that vaccine, and then we're seeing so many people die young at this point. I can't help but to connect it to the vaccine, and a lot of the stuff that was going on during COVID, and people just ingesting stuff at a really fast rate. So I definitely want to people to get themselves checked out, get as healthy as possible, because it's about survival of the fittest.
But this a G check. Even
Mhm.
though they go get checked out, this is the biggest G check. Is they really going to tell them the truth?
Well, if you have a doctor, again, so
But
this is,
listen, doctors, listen.
if
You
you have
ever
a
heard? You ever heard a contract? It don't matter what doctor you have. Everybody's up on the contract.
no, I believe that some doctors are real, and you could have a real, true doctor. I've had a doctor since 1998. That has
Mhm.
worked since 1998, and I trust them. You
Okay.
know, Black man, African man.
Okay.
Um, so I just think that we have to get that get out of that network. I believe what you're saying, that yes, some people were in this network and they're not going to tell you the truth. They can't, like you said, they can't, because they're
The
part
G
of the whole
check.
process. It's a G check. So let's go. Let's pop into New York right quick. If New York is going crazy too, we know Philadelphia. Shout out to them. Now New York City is going crazy over the mayoral candidate, uh, Zorhan Mamdani, who might be our next mayor. 33-year-old Muslim guy.
Assalamu alaikum,
From
brother.
the Bronx. Yalaikum salam. Um, they say he's from the Bronx. And I say they say, we don't know. He's a state. Last week I called him a senator. He's an assemblyman in New York, and he's got new plans. And what he did, he has mobilized. He has the money to run the race, and he beat out Andrew Cuomo, which is a historical thing. And now everybody is trying to tear him up. But let me see how you feel about this, cousin. On his college application to Columbia University,
Mhm.
my man put down that he was Black and Asian.
Well, let's G check it. Listen.
He put down, he checked Black. He's from Uganda, which
Mhm.
which is an African country. He was born in Uganda. He put check,
Mhm.
Black,
Mhm.
and Asian.
Okay. Listen. It's a G check. I've been places in the system. I put down white, so I understand. You know
Really?
what I mean? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what was you trying to come up with that?
Exactly. That's what I came up with. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, they respect that white check. You get where I'm coming from? So I feel that I'm a human being. So I could put down whatever I want to put down. You know what I mean? Because I feel that that's the race that get all the benefits. So I said, okay, Butler, white.
I think we have a Mom Dami supporter in the house. Good
Yes,
people.
yes, yes, we
Yeah,
do. How you
I
doing?
think he likes the Mom Dami approach.
Yeah, you know what? I like fresh meat. You know what I mean? When I say fresh meat, we need young because it's about the young ones coming up where you got all these people, and I'm not knocking nothing old. nothing like that. I'm just saying you got the same people in position when we were slaves. So at the end of the day, we need something where would change the earth, and move the earth. You get where I'm coming from? So I feel that they need to it's time for a change. You know
And
what I mean?
most
It,
of the city is feeling that way. So,
yeah.
but I just think that we are really misinformed at what socialism is and what he's trying to do. My man said, and I know you Hollywood, okay? My man said that he didn't think there should be any billionaires.
Who's that?
Mom Dami.
Oh,
he said I don't think there should be billionaires because we've got enough wealth to spread across everybody. So remember what a socialist wants to do is they want to take somebody that's $1 billion. You're not allowed to have $1 billion. You got to spend all that money with the community and make sure everybody in the community is equal.
well, that's what. But see, I always say this, right? If everybody equal, it wouldn't be you black, you white, because we all are be the human beings that we are. You understand what I'm saying? So it don't. I get what he's saying is make sure everybody can eat. You don't have to have more, but the way this world is now, like it's the crazy thing. Took my mom's out to the Hamptons. You see all that property, that land out there. And you come back to the city and you see all these people laying on the street starving. What is we really doing? You know what I mean? Is it about because I got more money and I could do this? You got dudes that got houses in the Hampton. They just there for the summer and the houses is just sitting there where you got people is in Times Square, 25th Street, 116th Street, sleeping on the streets. It don't add up. It don't add up.
Okay, but now let me ask you. You hustling to get your money, right? Get everything like that. You hustling for this $1 billion, maybe even a trillion, right?
Hmm.
So now you get that. Are you going to say, you know what? I don't need to be a billionaire. Let me just spread it across to everybody. Are you going
But
to say,
you wouldn't have to say. I wouldn't have to say that because my thing is why is crime, why is jail, why is pettiness, why is hate, why is greed? Because a piece of paper. Money is nothing but a piece of paper. And we kill and hate one another over a piece of paper. You get where I'm coming from? $1 zillion. You would never live to spend $1 zillion, $1 trillion.
yes,
So at
but
the end of the day,
are
if
you
you
going to take it and give it to everybody?
no, I'm going to make sure if I had that kind of paper, I will make sure that everybody I see can eat. I'm not saying that I want to give it all up and I be broke and then everybody be looking at me like, oh, he's a clown. No, it's about, yeah, you're close. It's about people, lives. We don't care about lives. We care about green more than we care about people's lives. We care about bags more than we care about somebody's lives. We care about a car more than we care about a person's life. We care about a big butt wigs more than we care about people. We dogs, and I said this, dogs, horses live better than a human being these days. That's a
Okay,
G check.
that's a G check, and I can understand. I can understand, and I think that the concept of socialism makes sense. But you see how quick you was like, and I ain't giving away all my money, so I ain't got none. But that's what they're saying. They're saying that there should be no, elite, and it probably shouldn't at the end of the day. But we're in a capitalist country, in a capitalist society, and we about our money. I'm about my money. I'm a capitalist. I have to say that. I'm definitely am. And then what's going to happen in New York, and the prediction of what's going to happen in New York is that all these so-called billionaires that you don't want to have the money, they're going to get up and they're going to get up and leave and go somewhere else. They're going to go to Florida, and they're going to say, you know what, the hell with New York until this guy gets up out of here, until they see that socialism doesn't work. They're going to say, we don't want any, and you're not going to get our money, and so they're going to leave. So then you leave New York really broken, because now the people that were paying the higher taxes that you get a little bit of their money from, they're gone. So now who are you getting it from? The people who don't have money. And then so now you're running it down to the very last compound without thinking that not everybody is with what you're talking about.
I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I feel that when people can take care of their kids and take care of their family, they happy. But right now, as we see what's going on in America, people's not happy. So this is what we got. This is what we deal with. Because I said this to a guy a long time ago when I was in. I said, when your girl come to visit you, you're in the visiting room, you're arguing. Why you arguing? Because you broke. Two broke people, they're gonna argue all the time. But think about it. When two people got money, there's no argument. Everybody happy. So at the end of the day, fix the world and make everybody happy where it don't be no argument, no pettiness. It's going to be always little snake stuff, but we need to fix the world. That's a G check.
That's
If
a G
we if
check.
we don't if we don't fix it, Mother Nature showing the world that I am going to destroy this world very slowly, and you see what's happening. You know what I mean? We all, and the people that out there that got kids, if you got kids, just close your eyes for a minute and think about that was your kid. It don't matter how much money you got. You could be a billionaire, zillionaire, whatever, but your kid was in there that you really love. Some parents don't love their kid, but if you really love your kid and they was in that situation, your heart is crushed. And guess what? $1 billion, $1 zillion, $1 trillion can't bring that kid back. So I'm saying to y'all, this is a big, big, big G check. Let's fix this. We can fix it. That's a G check.
Okay, so let's go to a break, and we'll come right back with our last segment of the G check. And we're going to go ahead and take all of AB's money, and we're going to change the world with his money, person by person. And that's the G check. We'll be right back on Millennium News 24. And we are back. We are back here on the New American Perspective with your G Check, and here on Millennium News 24. And we've been having a time here. And so the last thing that we want to talk about today is the Puffy trial is over. So we endured about 37, 38 days of grueling testimony against Sean Puffy Combs.
Well, listen, she was talking about Puff Daddy. Okay, here she goes. She back. She's back.
I don't know. Yeah, so we've been 38, 38. days of drooling. Puff Daddy, you sound like you was about to jump out. Um, but 38 days, 2 counts. He's guilty. 3 counts not guilty on the RICO and the major charges. Puffy will be sentenced in October. He thought he could get right out of jail, and asked for a quick hearing. And so now tell us about this, cousin, where in this case, the judge actually told them to wait. They adjourned their hearing to move the trial up to the sentencing trial to September 22nd. And now they're keeping it until October 4th. And so tell us about the sentencing and what do you think that he's going to get at the end of the day based on how they're moving around and reacting?
Okay, let me G check this, right? This is the feds. The feds is they petty. So yes, Cassie running around, her lawyers and all them playing the scared game. They playing the scared game. Oh, I don't want him to come out. I don't want him to get bail. But at the end of the day, Cassie, no matter what happened, your family, your friends in the world, going when they see you, they gonna look at you, yo, you a hot mama. So at the end of the day, you got the guy that you was doing it with, calling him on your own time. Now he's suing you. So is the world? This is a G check. Now is the tables going to turn where Cassie get a RICO charge for what she was doing with this guy?
Maybe. And it's always men that want to pop in and start talking about, well, we've been abused too. And so
Yeah.
there's a guy who Cassie was having freak offs with that now has sued Cassie in a reverse crime, if you will, about saying that she took advantage of him, jumped on top of him, and abused him and raped him, and he was not ready for it. And so now he wants to pop out and say, I'm like her. I was abused and she took advantage of me. He wants to pop out and say this. How do y'all feel about this? Because we hear a lot, and men are taken advantage of too. Let me not say that, but you guys love it.
Yeah, well, you so this is a G check. Well, you said we love it, but at the end of the day, y'all love it. Y'all just love the paper. You know what I mean? Y'all love the greed. Y'all love the pocketbooks. Y'all love to travel, and it's sad where it's always one way. Dealing with this situation is just like for a man going to trial, being a black man, we not gonna get the fair treatment. It's like child support. We not gonna get the fair treatment. So at the end of the day, it don't matter. We always get run over because I
Mm-mm.
guess, as they say, we a man, we can stand up and we strong. And that's 100% right. But like I say, enough is enough, man. You know what I mean? This man, y'all couldn't get him man a RICO charge. Y'all couldn't get him this. Y'all couldn't. Basically, they should go to, they really should peel them 2 charges they gave him and beat him. You know what I
Well,
mean?
actually, they
It-
are appealing the
yeah,
charge on the
yeah.
behalf.
They should give him time served. That's it. You know what I mean? But I was listening to something on the radio where they were saying that Puff had a habit, sex habit, drug habit. Right now, being in the jail, he rehabbing himself right now. He don't have access to everything he had access to. So hopefully right now his mind is clear and he understand. Now he realized, and I've been telling this for a long time ago, everybody's not your friend. So, sometimes people want to see a person down to keep him where he at. You get where I'm coming from? It don't matter how smart somebody is. That means you could be the smartest person in the world, but a lot of people don't have common sense.
Well,
That's a G check.
it's a G check. I'm not arguing the G check, but I am arguing that, the women want, they want it exactly the way that men think. And I think this, black women as a whole are looked down upon. That we are not respected in any way, shape, or form across the board. You look to us first to down us and to say, oh, we want to be with three men in one night. Come on, that doesn't make any sense. And
Listen,
it's
let me G
girl
check that.
want hold
Let
on.
me G.
I get that they wanted the bags and all the other stuff, and maybe they thought that there was no other way to get it. And this man is telling them, "I'm not going to respect you, and you might as well do what I'm telling you to do."
Well, I disagree with you on that
Mhm.
because young ladies, when they get out of sixth grade, go to seventh grade, they know what they want because
What
we no, we all was in that situation. Now we not
situation?
no. We know what we want when we get to a point.
A sixth grader?
I said a sixth grader going to the seventh grade know what they want in life. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying they want a grown man or whatever. I'm just saying is kids know what they want. When I was in sixth grade, fifth grade, I know exactly what I wanted. I know exactly what I was doing. So I'm just saying is listen, look out here right now, what's going on with these kids out here right now, right? Right? A lot of kids getting killed, a lot of kids getting hurt, and then their parents get up on the news and say the kids is innocent. Parents, get a chance to get out your job or get out your house and sneak and don't let your kids see you. And you'll be surprised. That little innocent kid ain't innocent. So
One
I'm saying, huh?
100%.
Yeah. So I'm saying is a lot of things we put on and say, oh, our kids are innocent. They didn't do this, they ain't do that. I'm speaking for me. I was hustling since I was in sixth grade. So I understand what I was doing. You know what I mean? I'm sorry I broke my mom's and pop's heart, but I knew exactly what I was doing. So I know when I was growing up, it was respect for parents, other people parents, other people parents. These days there's no respect for no parents, nobody. So nah, I can't go for that. Where the black woman is not respected. Yes, they are. But at the end of the day, the average black man out here, we want to talk about the black man, the black woman. At the end of the day, the average guy out here is not working, ain't got no money, got a little petty job. These little cute girls, these black cute girls, you go speak to them, they look at you like you got 34 heads. Please tell me I'm wrong. Because if
Listen,
you no, you said something.
go
It's a
ahead.
G check.
Yeah, I got to teach.
So at the end of the day, let's change that. Respect the man for who he is, not what he got in his pocket, not what he don't have.
Okay,
Respect
that's
that.
fine. That's a G.
Dennis Robin is a good example. He said what he said. He said when he was growing up, he tried to talk to all the black girls in his school. They looked at him like he was an ugly duckling. Then as soon as he got that money and got that deal and he started dealing with the other kind, every black woman mad, oh, this and that. But no, it's two ways to the story. So
Okay,
that's a G check
that's a
on
G.
my behalf.
But let's go back to where you started. We got a minute left. Let's go back to where you started when you said, "Oh, I was in the seventh grade, sixth grade, going to the seventh grade, and I knew what I was doing." Now, was was it smart? No. Yeah, you knew what you wanted. You knew what you thought you want, right? And You knew what you thought you wanted,
No, I
and
didn't know
because
what I
you
thought.
didn't
I knew
really,
what I
you
wanted.
didn't really want to end up doing the time that you did and all those things. You didn't really want to end up there, but you did what was pleasurable to you. You did with the feeling. But we've got to make sure that we're teaching our kids, and you're right. We got to stop saying that if you got the money, I'm going after you. If you don't have no money, I'm going after you. My dad said very clear, you don't love somebody because of how much money they have. It's about what we're teaching our kids in school. And then, yes, Black women are very much used as objects. Listen, I followed all of the rules, went across the board, and one of the good girls, quote unquote, and still, yeah, quote unquote, and still have issues with people and respect. And I went to the top of the food chain. So don't tell me that Black women don't have issues out here and that are respected, because we are not. You could see in the Trump presidency, you could see in this Cassie case, she's not even a Black woman. You could see across the board how people feel about us as women and think that we are second class citizens. And that has always been in the United States. And this is going all the way back to the 14th and the 12th amendment of everybody getting the right to vote, women getting their right to vote, and everything like that. So don't say that there's no, like, oh, women are supposed to be led by men,
This is
and
G
you're
check.
not leading us in the right way.
This
Go
is a
ahead,
G check.
last thought.
This is a G check, right? At the end of the day, everything you said, the lead, let the women is not equal to the man. We didn't make that rules. You get where I'm coming from? So every rule was made. Everybody in this world know where the rules were made from. So at the end of the day, I don't look at a woman as a second. I look at her like, yo, you a woman. You understand? Because at the end of the day, I respect my mother. She's a woman. So at the end of the day, I don't look at my mom as a second class. I look at her, she equal to any other man or any other woman. So at the end of the day, no. Like my son, we teach him respect. A lot of these kids don't understand respect. My father and mother taught me respect, but I chose to go the route I wanted to go to. So at the end of the day, we're going to leave that on the G check. Yo, respect, respect, respect. That's what's going to make the world better when we start respecting one another, not because of color, respect. And that's a G check.
That's a
I'm
G.
out of here.
That is our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Log in, tap in with us throughout the week. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you want to get on the show, let us know.
Let
We
us
are
know.
here for you. This is the New American Perspective, and we've got a spot. So we're signing out. Millennium News 24, the New American Perspective, and your G check in the house. Jania Butler and AB Butler in the building.
And we are the new, beautiful American Bill.
Amen. We'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Y'all be safe out there.
Bye bye.